Hello YouTube, today I'll be showing you how to make these clay and ceramic wall hangings using old keys. So what we're going to be using is of course some air hardened clay, some casting alginate, some plaster of Paris, and a selection of hobby paints, just for small items, plastics and metals. Okay, so before I make this introduction too long, I shall start making and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so what I've done so far is using an air hardening clay. It's just rolled out, or flattened out with my hand, a simple kind of flat panel. I've used my hand because I don't want to kind of use a rolling pin because I want it to look quite rustic. I'm just using a circular cutter, otherwise known as an old lid. Just going to push that down and remove the edges. So you don't need to be too precise with this because basically this is going to be a cast and we want it to look kind of rustic and very handmade rather than manufactured. Okay, so I'm just pushing it into the lid. Just using a knife. Just going to pop that out. Line it back down slightly. As you can see, it's got a bit of a wibbly wobbly edge, which I'm not too bothered about really. Now just using some slip, I'm just going to coat it. Now slip is basically just watered down clay, just using the same air hardened clay. It's just got lots of water in there. Just cover the whole thing, use it as if it was like an egg wash. Just helps everything stick together. Now, just before recording, I made a little clay heart there, complete with lumps and bumps. Just press it on there. Some more slip just around the edges. There we go, just like that. Now, as well as my keys, I've also got this bit of an old lock here. I'm just going to force it into the centre. Okay. See, now the key I picked is a bit too large, so I'm just going to pause this for a second. I'm just getting another. There we go, this bit of size. Just pop that in there. There we go. And now I'm just going to make a little hole in the top so we can hang it up. Okay, there we are. A bit more slip. Okay, now I'm just going to wait for this to dry, and I'll be back with you in a second just to show you some of the other designs that I've done. You can probably just see them on the corner of your camera there. Okay, I'll rejoin you in a moment. Okay, so I made some more little clay key wall hangings, which you can see. This one is my favourite so far, the butterfly key. Now at this stage what you could do is just paint them up as they are, or even just leave them as they are. I mean, this one I'm probably just going to leave as it is because I really like the look of it, and just put some string through there. Maybe put some more slip on the back just to kind of make that look a bit neater. But what I'm actually going to do with these is cast them, and I'll be showing that in just about 2 seconds, so I'll rejoin you in a moment. Okay, so I'm back again. Basically, now my wall hangings are fully dry, as you can see. I'm going to cast them as I said. I'm going to be using an alginate solution to cast them in. Basically, this stuff is 1 part alginate. Don't have to be too exact, which is good. Bubble that. To 2 parts water. Right now this stuff sets very quickly, so I'm just going to start mixing. I think that's about as smooth as I'm going to get it. I've got my pre-prepared tubs here, so I'm just going to pour that in. I think I've waited just about the right amount of time, which is good. That's like the main tricky bit. Okay. So while that is setting, I should mention it takes about 10 minutes to basically set to a consistency where it's not fluid. At that point, basically take the mould out of the tub, and if you're feeling brave enough, remove the clay tablets at that point. You can wait a little longer if you're not that brave. Me, I tend to be a bit impatient, so that's what I tend to do. They actually take about 24 hours to dry. Now obviously I'm not going to sit here and wait for 24 hours for that to dry, because one, I'll get very bored and this would be an incredibly boring video. So, as if by magic, here is one I did earlier. Almost picked up the wrong mould then. Now this is our heart shape that we made earlier, as you can see, there's some clay residue on there. Don't worry about that. It probably will stick to the plaster of Paris once you cast it, but you're going to paint over it. It's not a problem. Don't worry about it. So I'll just put that to one side just for a second. Get some of the bits out of there. Okay. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is mix up some plaster of Paris and pour that into the mould. So I'm going to pause it here just for a second. I'm back. Here we have our plaster of Paris. I'm just going to use another yogurt tub here. Now this stuff is the opposite to an alginate. This stuff it's 2 parts plaster to 1 part water. Now we have another tub here, so just pour that in. I think that's a bit too much for what I'm wanting. Never mind. I'll find something else to pour it into. Fine. So obviously I filled my yogurt up right to the top with the plaster and just halfway with the water. And I've got my heart mould here. And I'm not going to fill this one right to the top. I'm just going to actually fill the heart bit. Maybe just a tad more. And there we go. Now we're going to leave that in there for a couple of hours, but as I said, I've got all the different stages prepared, and this is how easily I had to get out the moulds. This one's coming out the mould already. Here's one I did earlier of one of the key designs you saw. And that's looking pretty good actually. There we go, that's our first plaster cast. As I said, I've got some plaster left over, so I might as well just pour some more in there. I'm just going to use a toothpick, just so it's got a ready-made hole in it. Because once it's set, you're not going to get a toothpick through it or a drill without it breaking. There we go. Right, so I'm back again. As you can see, I have been very busy casting lots of my little key ceramics here. And the first thing I'm going to do is, earlier on, obviously as you've just seen for you, I cast my key butterfly. So I'm just going to relieve the plasticus I made from that, from its mould. So a bit of water on it, there we go. There's another one I made from the same mould. And just in case you wanted to see, here is the mould itself. Right, so I'm quite happy with how most have turned out. And what I'm going to do now is just give some of them a little sand down of the edges. There we go. Now with the more dry ones, I thought I may as well show you the painting of them. I'm just going to be using basically some hobby paint. You can use most different types of paint, so spray paint, acrylics, but this is basically perfect for hobbies, crafts and small projects. It sticks to ceramic, plastic, wood, so perfect for what we want really. And as you can see, I've picked a kind of antique gold colour. Was picked a nut brown and a black, and the reason why I picked these colours is because basically they're very steampunky. And the lid seemed to have dried shut. Give me one sec. Okay, so we're just going to start off by painting one of our hearts. Right, so I've finished all my wall hangings now, and I thought I would show you a couple of my favourite ones. Here's the one I made about halfway through, which obviously I decided I was going to leave as it is. Just thread some string through the top there. And as you saw from that butterfly one, I created a couple of these. Basically I painted this one silver and I just rubbed some black paint over the top, just give it a worn and maybe dirty kind of look to it. This one here is my favourite, and I think it really kind of embodies steampunk with the colours and just a general look. As you can see, I've actually threaded a key right through the bottom of this heart. Just did that by cutting the key and then bending it back together again. The last one I want to show you is this one, which is one of the moulds of the two keys, which I've got here. With one of the hearts stuck on top, using glue gun. And basically that's how you make ceramic and clay wall hangings using all keys. I hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!